Perhaps at no other time during the post-secondary experience than exam time is the stress of being a student most acutely felt. Among the tips that I have for students in order to study more effectively for exams are first to create a study plan. This is going to vary from student to student. Once you have a sense of the amount of material that needs to be covered, you want to break down your time into manageable study sessions. One thing I can suggest is for students to be as specific as possible about what they hope to accomplish during each study session, so they are propelled by a sense of motivation and accomplishment. Another tip that I have for students is to avoid cramming by reviewing regularly. This means reviewing your notes or summarizing your lecture notes right after class, and then returning to those notes right before class. I would also recommend that students initiate weekly review for their study, so that when it comes time to that extensive exam preparation, about 1 to 3 weeks before your exam, you find the task of reviewing the material more manageable. Another tip that I would have for students is to apply their knowledge. So this means making connections between the things they're learning in classes, or perhaps trying to relate what they're learning to real-life scenarios. One strategy I can recommend for students is to try to teach the material to someone else, or summarize the material in their own words. You can also try joining or leading a study group. Some of the common mistakes that students make when they're preparing or studying for exams are procrastinating or perhaps underestimating the amount of time that it takes to complete a certain study session, or skimming their understanding of the material. In order to avoid procrastination, or perhaps to combat it, what I would recommend to increase motivation is perhaps to engage in some pre-studying planning tasks. This could involve making a checklist of what you need to cover or accomplish, or perhaps set some time management goals for yourself for a particular day or particular week. In terms of skimming or rushing your understanding of the material, what I can recommend is that you engage in active reading strategies, like taking notes when you're reading an article or chapter, and then summarizing those notes after. Teaching the material to others, or even saying out loud, is another way to help deepen your understanding of the material. This is why joining a study group, as long as you're engaged in things like quizzing each other and reviewing, is also a good idea. Some advice I have for students who maybe haven't been engaged in stellar study habits up to now and who maybe feel really unprepared for this upcoming exam schedule is to use this time and seize this time as an opportunity to put some of these strategies in place. That means employing some time management strategies, being specific about what you hope to accomplish during a certain study session or day, and initiating your review up till now. It's a good idea to keep perspective of what's going on during exam period and to try to relax. Your results on an exam are a measure of your understanding of the material and your knowledge of the material to this point, but remember, they aren't necessarily a reflection of your intellect or potential.